Mojang needs to fix this, and it's not the only thing either. 1.20.10 just came out as the first bug fix for Bedrock 1.20, but yet the game is still filled with bugs. Some of these are fun and frivolous, I'll be honest with you, but some of these are much more fundamental and game-breaking, including major 1.20 features which have never worked as intended. Today, I wanted to showcase bugs which have still not been fixed in the next bug fix update yet, 1.20.20, and they're bugs that affect you, my friend the Wandering Trader. They're bugs that affect the horse over here, but there are also bugs that affect every single one of us playing the game. I think that Minecraft should aim to be much less buggy, and so here are some very serious bugs that have yet to be patched in either this update or the next one, meaning we don't have a fix planned anytime soon, something I'd hope to seriously change for at least a few of these very serious issues in this video, because there are weird, wacky, and wow-inducing bugs, and today I'll be showing you all of them, starting with the most serious. These are the ones that really should have been fixed a long time ago, before 1.20 came out, because this is one of the most fundamental features in Minecraft 1.20, the trail ruins. It is the only brand new structure. They altered a lot of them, but this is the only brand new one, and it doesn't work at all on Bedrock. That's because when you dig down past enough gravel, you start to go back to whatever the terrain is below it, which is really, really weird. In fact, I can show you this quite clearly by using a remove feature to remove all of the sand, followed by all of the sandstone, I guess it would be, and then you can see that is meant to be attached to this. In fact, this is one of the most popular bugs on the Minecraft bug tracker, so popular in fact that Mojang Studios have had to put a note on it saying precisely this. Thank you for your patience while we continue to work on addressing the issue being raised here. Please be assured we are actively looking into a solution and apologize for any inconvenience caused. We are currently working on a potential tech solution to address this bug, but in the meantime, you'll have to dig a bit deeper to unearth the trail ruin structure fully, but it should all be there. It seems like such a fundamental feature to not be able to fix in two separate bug fixes. However, it does seem as though they probably must have a fix. I mean, it's as simple as just making this generate 10 blocks up, but maybe that fix is breaking other things in the game. This is something we've seen with the pink player issue. This is one of my favorite old running Minecraft bugs. Every now and then, Minecraft players just turn pink in multiplayer, but it's also true for my personal pet peeve of a bug, which is never mobs spawning too frequently. This bug is kind of a tricky one to show off, except actually no, it's not. Two ghasts just spawned right in front of me right now. This is abnormally high. Minecraft mobs in the Nether have always had one of two issues on the Bedrock edition. Either they spawn so infrequently that you never find wither skeletons anywhere, or they spawn so frequently that you're immediately, upon going into survival mode, bombarded by two ghasts and some piglins. This is one of the biggest and most notable differences that I get into. Whenever I play the Java edition, I realize immediately just how well the mob spawning there actually works. It feels like the Nether is oddly peaceful there, whereas on this edition, I'm just being immediately bombarded by mobs. Is the Nether meant to be this hard? I assume not. Just like how I assume the number of mobs that spawn in the overworld clearly isn't intentional, there are all sorts of weird issues in Minecraft Bedrock that I can never quite fully understand, but the amount of mobs that spawn is one of the things that makes this the harder edition of the game by a considerable amount. Seriously, this cave is so tiny and so small, and I had 10 mobs following me, but a spider still spawned there anyway. It feels as though this is the balance to Minecraft Bedrock having dumb mob AI, is that all of the mobs will spawn about 3 times as often, but it's still terrifying to say the least. And yeah, they can't get me now, can they? Something that isn't terrifying, though, is the way that grass generates. This is a fundamental issue, in my opinion, but it's one that I'm actually quite happy with, because grass generates far more frequently on the Java edition, and so it's a bug that grass generates less. And by that, I don't mean the grass block, I mean the grass decoration. But personally, I hate the amount of grass that you get on Java, and even though it looks kind of odd how sparse it is on Bedrock, I mean, look how weird the tall grass is with nothing in between it, I hate having to clear all of this out just so I can build there. I think that grass is one of the most pointless little decorations in Minecraft, and I think they could make it even less likely than this, but for now, this is one of those big issues that a lot of people do care about, but, you know, if you care about this, then I have some real concerns. You know, I guess you need it to get seeds, which is kind of useful, but, you know, again, I am willing to take the sacrifice just to have easier building, because building without flowers and grass and all these decorations is just a little bit easier than building with. The other more fundamental issues that I'd raise is that sometimes your HUD randomly disappears in Minecraft. There's no way to get it back without leaving the world and rejoining it. And the other one is that texture packs seem to do some really weird things. So this map right here, you can probably imagine I was playing with the plastic texture pack, but then I went back to my creative world because I was recording this video, and my hotbar or my inventory screen had these weird blue bits all over it. And if you look at the armor slots, they also had the blue plastic textures just kind of preloaded in there. And even right now, you can tell that I'm in a default vanilla texture pack, but when I go to creative, it has these weird pluses there. Texture packs don't fully unload, and it causes all sorts of odd bugs. I've heard about the giant item bugs being quite common, but I haven't encountered that myself. But Minecraft texture packs are just a little bit broken right now, something which is especially important because of how Minecraft kind of expects you to play with texture packs. Anyway, speaking of things Minecraft expects from you, this is a bug that I assumed Minecraft added, and therefore it removed was being the bug, bug being fixed. And so when I mentioned at the beginning of the video that you should be able to sleep underwater, a part of me was thinking, well, that's kind of ridiculous. But just after that, I looked it up just to confirm, like, is this actually a bug or not? And there is a real bug report for not being able to sleep underwater. It was a different bug, but it is something where Mojang confirms that is a bug. Being able to sleep underwater is intentional behavior, and I'm gonna be honest with you here. It's so weird to be able to sleep underwater. It feels like you shouldn't be able to, but I guess otherwise, why are you able to place those same beds under the water? And so yeah, you can't sleep underwater right now. A really big concern. Can you bounce on the bed if it's halfway in the water? You can. That's so interesting. Anyway, speaking of things that are interesting, Minecraft is just filled with them. I really can't get over it. But we have to move on from these sorts of bugs, the ones that are quite fundamental in my opinion, maybe minus the bed sleeping. I think that's fundamental though, because I have the fundamental right to sleep wherever I want, even in the fish tank where I'll drown when I wake up. Speaking of rights that I have, I want to move on next to the, oh, look at that. By the way, works on ground. Are we discriminating against my fish friends? Is that Minecraft saying big salmon is not as good as small salmon? It sounds like it, doesn't it? These next bugs are a lot more fun, but speaking of fun, today is my birthday. You might not know that, but I just want to make the brief announcement that I am going to be streaming the creation of desert wells. Not village wells, the OG classic, but instead desert wells. I'm going to be building them for charity, and charity is of course the name of my girlfriend, and that's not actually true, but I really wish it was, just so I could always say I was doing stuff for charity. But no, I'm being very upfront and saying, I would like more money for silly, drinking implements and kebabs, and if you would like to help with that, then I will be building a desert well for every single person who tips. And in fact, just to be more fun than that, if you donate a certain amount, we'll give you a certain colored one, and the desert wells will be in my Let's Play forever. So if you want to be a part of history, that is something you'll be able to do tonight. Speaking of things you can do tonight, I guess you could wear your new IBX Toycat shirt from ibxtoycat.store and make that future use problem, which I guess you could do even worse if you put it on a credit card. But speaking of putting things on a credit card, it feels as though that's what we need to do with the Mojang horse boat debacle. They haven't developed a decent solution for this yet, which is a real shame in my opinion. And but there is an interesting bug regarding this that again, it to me proves that this is a silly idea, because look at the horse, look at the boat. Don't you think they should fit? Well, actually, funnily enough, they will fit if we summon the horse as a baby, which I think we can actually do. Just like this, using the spawn egg, we have a baby horse which fits in a boat. And then we can feed the baby horse golden apples. I'd recommend golden carrots, but you know what? We're in our creative world, we can do whatever I want. And now the horse is a full size, fitting in the boat just fine. If the horse gets out of the boat, he can't get back in. And to me, this is just entirely ridiculous. The horse fits so well in the boat. Look, even when I get in the boat, which admittedly a lot of mobs get a bit weird, the horse could easily fit in the boat if you just repositioned him. This is the most logical mob to have in a boat, not just in terms of size, but also in terms of gameplay reasoning. The horse is meant to be a mob that can cross oceans and help you go across land. Why is that not a thing? Ridiculous reasons, that's why. But yeah, if you want to have a horse in a boat, you can do it. You can just only do it precisely once, which is kind of weird and kind of dumb to me, but it is a thing that is a thing you can experience in this update, just like how the end rod is another thing. So end rods have this really interesting new behavior. Since I built my end rod, at least, now when you place them down, they always place down kind of reverse to each other, like end to end, I guess I should say. Even when you do it sideways, this is the case. But while we build sideways, you might notice something quite weird about the hitboxes. It's more obvious from the side-on angle, but look at that. The hitbox for the side end rod is exactly the same as the hitbox for the upright one. They don't change when the orientation of the block changes, which leads to some really interesting behavior. One of these is the fact that you can't break the end rod when you're punching it. As you can see, I'm trying my best, but I'm just going right through it. And the second of which is the fact that you can actually, you can break it from up there, which is interesting. But the second of these is really, really cool, because if you fire an arrow, or even a trident will work the same, but if you fire an arrow at one of these, the arrow will get stuck there because it's not quite sure where it should really go. This is much more interesting the higher up you go. So let's place a end rod over here, for example, and then let's fire arrows above it. As you can see, those arrows are getting kind of stuck and glitched in the hitbox because there's nothing really there for it. And now we can get so many arrows in one place, which we can immediately break and have them fall on me, giving me this mega jump boost. Wasn't that worth it? I think you'll find it is. This is a very broken Minecraft feature that I'm sure some people can take advantage of, but for now it's just kind of, you know, weird. Speaking of weird things, I think the minecart is another prime example. By the way, two bugs for the price of one. Isn't that fun? Minecarts are a really interesting one in this update because, again, so I built this back in 2014 or so, and what do you think happens when you go through a carpet? In the old editions, you could see perfectly fine. In modern Minecraft, there is a really weird bug where you get pure darkness for a second, and then pure darkness, and then, oh no, more pure darkness, and even more interestingly, you can't go back in the carpets from a slant. This is, again, this has changed since I built these, which is very, very interesting. I do wonder why they needed to put that in there. Why does the carpet collide with the thing in this way, but yet if you've removed that block, it goes just fine? I don't know if it makes any sense to me, and I also think this is one of the most interesting ways to grant true blindness, because right now, the blindness effect, if I were to give that to you, we'll ignore all of these commands for a second. If I were to give myself the blindness command in the, max level, as you can see, wow, we did a lot of stuff. As you can see, this is what it looks like. The whole world goes down to about one chunk render distance, and that's what true blindness is. Blindness is when you play on a laptop from 2012 and think that it can run Minecraft, but really it can't. However, this is only actually really, again, you can see there's still decent light within that area, but this is not how minecarts work. As you can see, I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna go down, and wow, I have absolute blindness. I can't see myself, even in third person, I'm just missing, which is absolutely wild that a bug like that can exist, and so hopefully that's something they fix. Oh, by the way, also, speaking of the same things, here is me and some gravel. I'm guessing this gravel is here to suffocate me. I guess if the gravel's there, I might as well do it. And so here's something interesting. As well as suffocating to death, which is pretty bad, don't get me wrong. I think we could probably stave that off with enough golden apples. But as well as suffocating to death, which is pretty bad, you also have this fun little quirk of actually... Wait, by the way, am I getting more than 2 hearts from this? Do the 2 hearts stack, or is that a bug? Anyway, you'll notice now I'm going to take drowning damage as well as suffocation damage because I lost all of my bubbles, which is really quite ridiculous. But as you can see, Toycat suffocated in a wall twice. Is that how it should work? I don't really know. Oh, by the way, this is fun. I'm back in my old house. This is the house I used to live in. I built it in Minecraft. This is my shower. This is where I recorded the videos with my green screen behind me. It is honestly kind of weird to see this in Minecraft because it's a decent enough recreation of it. Do I have my new house in Minecraft as well, or am I not sharing that? Anyway, with that said, let's go into my neighbor's house, see what furniture they've got happening here. Wow, they have a bigger TV than me. Anyway, speaking of people having bigger TVs than me, it has to be mentioned that I am in an entirely wrong part of my world. But yeah, this creative world is absolutely huge. It's combined so many of my creative worlds over the years, and honestly, I sometimes get a little bit lost. So we'll go over this bridge and see if that takes me home. I mean, it must do, right? Nope, takes me to a moo bloom. I guess if I fall off the edge of the world, then that could solve my problems too. Surprisingly, that didn't solve any of my problems, and there's no easy teleport away button that I was expecting. So I guess we'll just hang out in my garden for the rest of this. Do you like my garden here? I've got a savanna behind it. It's real nice. Anyway, I do want to round out this video with some fun ones. So just for some really silly bugs that probably aren't ruining your life, but are interesting nonetheless, here is a splash water bottle being thrown at some candles, and here is a awkward potion, just for the fun of it. As you can see, even when it hits the candles head on, the candles are still not becoming unlit. Also, apparently candles are allowing mobs to spawn on them, so they're just really not working as intended as a whole. And also, the spyglass, I mean, as amongst all the other issues it has, when you press press F1, it doesn't hide the HUD as a whole, it just hides the hotbar, which you'd figure it could hide this weird little spyglass overlay, where for some reason you can't see the left and right thirds of the screen, which might be really handy for people trying to make cinematic videos of zoom-ins. Also, look how weird the torch look over. Like, is that normal? There's like a weird black box around the soul torches. Is that like a rendering issue they hope that you wouldn't zoom in on? Have I just found something fun? Anyway, speaking of something fun, but I think we could go endlessly into weird bugs that Minecraft has. There are literally thousands of them, and I don't envy the job of working out which ones are worth solving and which ones aren't. However, I would say one that has definitely ended many people's lives, and so if I was a bug fixer, I would put on some priority, is a parity issue between Java and Bedrock. If you fall off a cliff on Java, then everything is fine, if you're in a boat at least. And to be fair, on Bedrock, when you have a horse, the same is true. But if you try to do something you watch in a YouTube video from Java, on Bedrock, which is jump off a mountain in a boat down to the ground, something quite tragic happens. It's also, that was oddly delayed, right? But something tragic happens, you end up back in your old house, you have deja vu and you think, oh no, didn't I go for a lot of effort moving my house? How am I still back here? I'm so confused, which might be a big problem. By the way, this is my hand chair. I mean, this is the closest I could do it in Minecraft. I'll show you my real chair right now. Do you think it's pretty close? I think it's pretty close. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this particular video. If you did, don't think this is my toilet. Man, I love sometimes showing, I love looking at my old builds from even a few years ago when I've forgotten that I've made them, because you make some interesting decisions as it turns out, just like how you made some interesting decisions that led you here to this video, and I hope you make more interesting ones in the future. If you'd like to ease that process along, consider subscribing to the channel so you see more of these videos every single day on your homepage. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it, because I'll see you next time. Which might just be my stream tonight, or indeed my new Caveman Challenge series. Either way, thank you to everyone who's wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate it a lot, and have a very good day yourself, because I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye.